The year is 1952. The world is looking for an answer. Darwin had proposed a tree of life, but its roots were planted in thin air. How did the very first life begin? How did the spark ignite in the darkness? The world needed a hero, a scientific origin story, and it got one. Enter Stanley Miller and Miller-Urey. Their names are now legendary, etched into every high school biology textbook. Their experiment is an icon, a symbol of human ingenuity finally solving the mystery of our own existence. You've seen the picture, a series of glass flasks and tubes connected in a loop. Inside, they placed a mixture of gases they believed existed on the early Earth: methane, ammonia, hydrogen. They boiled water to create a vapor representing the ancient ocean. And then they introduced the spark. They zapped the mixture with electrical discharges, simulating lightning. They let it run for a week, and what they found in the murky residue at the bottom changed the world. They had produced amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, the fundamental components of life. The headlines were explosive. Life created in a test tube. Science had done it. They had found the spark. The primordial soup was no longer a myth. It was a scientific reality. This experiment became the bedrock, the exhibit A for the belief that life could arise from non-life, all by itself. It's a beautiful story, a powerful story. But like any good magic trick, the real secret is in what you don't see. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this famous experiment and reveal the 3 deceptions that turned a failed chemistry experiment into a scientific legend. Deception number 1, the rigged game, the wrong atmosphere. The entire success of the Miller-Urey experiment depended on one crucial thing: the gases they used. They assumed an early atmosphere rich in methane and ammonia. Why? Because these gases are rich in hydrogen and readily give up their electrons, making chemical reactions easy. There was just one problem. It was the wrong atmosphere. Geochemists today overwhelmingly agree that the early Earth's atmosphere was nothing like what Miller and Urey used. It was most likely composed of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapor, much like the atmospheres of Mars and Venus. And what happens when you rerun the experiment with this more realistic, scientifically accepted atmosphere? You get virtually nothing. A few simple, useless organic molecules, maybe, but certainly not the rich brew of amino acids they reported. They didn't use the real atmosphere. They used a required atmosphere. They rigged the game from the start to get the result they wanted. Deception number 2, the intelligent trap. This is the most brilliant and deceptive part of the experiment. The same spark of electricity that can join simple molecules together can also blast complex ones apart. And it's actually much better at destroying them. Miller and Urey knew this, so they included a clever feature in their setup: a trap. As soon as any amino acids were formed, they were immediately drawn away from the spark and isolated at the bottom of the apparatus. Think about what this means. They use their intelligence to design a system to protect their products from the very same energy source that formed them. Does nature have such a trap? Is there a magical sorting mechanism on the early Earth that says, okay, you're a useful molecule, come over here to safety, and you're a useless one, stay here and get destroyed? Of course not. In the real world, any amino acid formed by a lightning strike would be destroyed by the very next one.
The experiment didn't simulate nature, it overcame nature with intelligent design. Deception number 3. The poisoned results. This is the secret they never mention in the textbooks. Yes, they produced a few amino acids, but what else did they make? The vast majority of the product was a sticky, black, toxic tar, a chemical sludge that is useless for life. The building blocks they found were just a tiny trace amount in a sea of chemical garbage. And it gets worse. Life uses only left-handed amino acids. It's a specific functional requirement, like how a right-handed glove only fits a right hand. The Miller-Urey experiment produced a 50-50 mix of both left-handed and right-handed amino acids. This mixture, known as a racemate, is poisonous to life. It would have stopped the formation of any functional protein chain dead in its tracks. So let's review. They used the wrong atmosphere. They used an intelligent trap that doesn't exist in nature, and the results they got were 98% toxic sludge and a 100% life-killing mixture of amino acids. This experiment is not proof for the origin of life. It is one of the most powerful arguments against it. It proves, beyond any doubt, that even with the best equipment, purified chemicals, and a team of brilliant, intelligent scientists manipulating the conditions, you still can't get anywhere close to life's simplest components without it all turning into a poisonous mess. The spark they found was not the spark of life. It was the spark that ignited a myth. A myth that is still being taught as fact to millions of students today. The most famous experiment in origin of life science is in reality its most spectacular failure. The Miller-Urey experiment isn't just a failure. It is a monument to a failed ideology. Our mission on this channel is simple: to dismantle these materialistic myths one by one so that the clear, undeniable signature of the true author of life can be seen without obstruction. Join us on this journey. The foundation of this story is crumbling, and we will be here to witness it.